Hello. For those just joining us, you are in the right place. We're going to get started shortly. We're going to get started at 4:05, just giving everybody a chance to arrive. Thank you guys all for attending the Office of Financial Empowerment, New York City Free Tax Provider Volunteer Info Session. We're going to get started now. So the Department of Consumer Worker Protection's mission statement is to protect and enhance the daily economic lives of New Yorkers to create thriving communities. Within DCWP, the Office of Financial Empowerment focuses on initiatives that support New Yorkers and communities with low incomes in building wealth and improving their financial health. OFE is the first local government initiative in the country with the mission to educate, empower, and protect New Yorkers and neighborhoods with low incomes so they can build assets and make the most of their financial resources. OFE has five core strategies. They are boosting income and building assets, providing free, high quality one on one financial counseling, increasing access to safe financial services, advocating for consumers in the marketplace, and empowering low income neighborhoods to generate wealth. New York City Free Tax Prep is part of the boosting income and building assets core strategy. The New York City Annual Tax Season Initiative aims to increase access to and awareness of free tax preparation services and valuable tax credits. The three key activities of the initiative are expanding the capacity of free tax preparation service providers throughout the city, educating New Yorkers about the availability of these services and refund boosting tax credits, and three, ensuring that New Yorkers can use tax time to be connected to asset building and financial health resources. In New York City, more than 70% of filers pay to have their tax returns completed, including more than three-quarters of filers who can claim the earned income tax credit. On average, tax prep fees are about $150 to $350, although some people can be charged a lot more, especially if they're doing tax returns for multiple years. These fees take away from the valuable refunds that filers receive and leave them vulnerable to predatory products like refund anticipation loans and refund anticipation checks that further erode the money they deserve. That money, $150 to $350, can be the same as 800 diapers, two monthly unlimited Metro cards, or three cell phone bills. Thousands of New Yorkers use New York City Free Tax Prep every year to keep all of their refund. Since 2015, more than 1 million tax returns have been completed. This has helped New Yorkers claim more than 150 million in refundable tax credit like the earned income tax credit. Although New Yorkers have received nearly 1.5 billion, oh, sorry, altogether, New Yorkers have received nearly 1.5 billion in tax refunds and estimated tax prep fee savings. So the New York City Free Prep Network serves New Yorkers throughout New York City. We work with 13 community-based organizations that operate close to 130 sites. Sites will be open 7 days a week. There are daytime and evening hours and drop-off and virtual services. Sites will be open mid-January through tax day, and some sites will be open beyond the end of tax day, or April 15th. And services are available in more than 15 languages. So volunteers are the most valuable resource for New York City free tax prep. Approximately 900 volunteers supported the 2019 tax season and under 300 in last year's tax season. Of course, COVID severely impacted volunteer recruitment. That was for all volunteer programs. We have started to build that back up, but you are very needed. So thank you for coming as we need more volunteers. So what are you going to do when you start volunteering? You're going to prepare state and federal tax returns using tax software. You're going to provide high quality customer service. You're going to direct clients to other financial health resources. Important skills. You do not need any previous tax experience. Training will be provided. You do need some computer proficiencies as all the tax returns will be completed using tax software. You do need effective communication and customer service skills, passion for connecting with people, and language skills are a plus. Commitment. What is expected of you? So you must complete 8 to 10 hours of training that can be online and in person, and that time frame, of course, changes because there are certification exams that you have to pass, but it all depends on kind of how you study and how long it takes you to prepare for that. So that is an estimate. There are at least three certification exams you must pass. They are online. They do not have a time limit. They are open book, um, and you can take each test twice. You can volunteer one 4 to 8 hour shift per week minimum and over the course of the tax season. And benefits, you get hands-on knowledge of tax law, you gain confidence with customer service skills, you acquire valuable marketable professional experience that looks great on a resume, and you help New Yorkers keep their whole refund. So why volunteer for New York City free tax prep? You can give back to the community, serve low to moderate income New Yorkers, and help fight poverty. You can develop several skill sets also. Computer proficiency, software proficiency, interpersonal communication skills. Since you're working as a volunteering as a tax preparer, you will gain professional experience that you can put on your resume. You'll gain customer service skills, knowledge of the government taxation system, and how to prepare taxes. Now we're actually going to hear from some of our community-based organization providers that we work with. The first up is Project Hospitality. We have Yamil from Project Hospitality. Hold on one second. I just think we lost him. Oh, there he is. Hold on one second. So then, yes, next we have Yamil from Project Hospitality. Yamil, you should be able to talk. Yes.
Hello everyone. So my name is Yamil Flores from Project Hospitality. So I'm just here to give you a little bit of information about our organization. So our organization is one of the only sites that is providing free tax preparation for all of Staten Island. Out of Staten Island, we have three locations. We have 221 Port Richmond, 211 Canal Street, and over here it says 260, but they since moved to 64 Port Richmond. It's a couple blocks away. Our organization is in Staten Island trying to help any client, any person in New York, not only do their taxes for free, but we are also connecting all of the clientele with um, wraparound services, which include and are not limited to SNAP, public benefits, immigration assistance, as many others. For us as an organization for volunteering, we would like for volunteers to commit at least 4 hours a week. There's no limit on how many hours you can commit or minimum, but we would love for you to have 4 hours at least, just because it makes you a more proficient candidate, and it helps you get your abilities of doing tax preparation more up to date as well as more proficiently, for not only with us, but if you were to do tax preparations with anyone else. Um, so the minimum requirement that we ask of everyone is to get the basic certification. It is required to get basic certification for everyone. If you, but we also offer or encourage certainly to get advanced certification. Just because everyone getting advanced certification, you're able to do tax preparations for more individuals as well as get your own knowledge to a higher degree of it. Once you get the certification and pass them through LinkedIn Learn, you can get training on hand from us, and we will teach you how to not only apply all the knowledge you got, but be able to use the software, the tax layer that we use. If you're interested in helping us uh, serve the public and volunteering, you can contact us through Maisha as well as through our contact information that's below on the slides. You can email us to phtax at Project Hospitality, and we would gladly give you information about training, connecting with us, or any resources that you or anyone might need. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and thank you for joining us, uh, getting all the New York volunteers and helping out with free tax prep.
Thank you, Yamil. Next we have Stephen from BRC, BRC, BSRC, Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Say that 3 times fast. Um, my mic is disabled.
No, Stephen, we can hear you.
Oh, you can. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Cox, and actually, you'll find out later that I'm Stephen Cox Senior. I have a clone, my son, who brought me into the program, who is also going to be listed here. I am from Bedford Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation. BSRC is located in central Brooklyn, and we are, in fact, the first community development corporation in the country. We are dedicated, our mission is dedicated to closing the racial wealth gap and I'm sorry, closing the wealth gap in central Brooklyn's lower income neighborhoods. We work in unison, as will all of the partners that you'll hear from today, with the client to achieve certain goals. And this is to try to address all of the client's goals holistically. We provide social services, helping people with food stamps, eviction prevention, heat and energy savings issues. We have a workforce team that will help with resume writing, interview skills, skill set trainings. We run several job fairs during the course of the year. We also have a group of individuals who work hand in hand with the tax preparation services to provide credit repair, debt management, and budget development. And you're here, I represent the tax services where we do tax preparation. You'll see tax assessment letters because everyone that you will hear from not only will prepare taxes for clients, but often clients will come in and present that dreaded letter that says IRS or Department of New York State Taxation. And part of what we have to do is talk individuals off the ledge to help them understand why they've received a letter from the taxing authorities. And believe it or not, often the only reason they've asked is because the client is being asked to provide additional information. And that's one of the things that we provide on a regular basis. Um, so what do we do? Well, I covered that. We provide certified professionals, individuals who've been certified tax preparers, and we'll talk about that. But we also offer social services groups. So that's part of our benefit counseling team. We have individuals who work with clients in terms of workforce preparation and training. And then finally, as I say, we do financial counseling and management. We work with several banking organizations throughout the area, Chase, Citibank, to bring in people to help individuals improve their financial knowledge. And we go from there. Last year, and during the filing season, my team prepared 4,743 tax returns. We claimed $3,978,738 in federal refunds. We also claimed 1,701,000 in state refunds. But more importantly, we saved clients over $1,500,000 in tax preparation fees. So what does that mean? Maisha talked about the fact that we provide a free tax service. Think about that. The H&R Blocks, the other individuals, or in fact, private individuals who had their own tax firms like myself were charging clients on average $300 to do tax returns. We save the people in this community, in my case, Bedford Stuyvesant, over $1.5 million. And we're hoping that you'll join us or one of the other presenters today in order to make that happen and go from there. We will operate 4 sites in the upcoming season, and we'll be operating Monday through Sunday. I should say that BSRC works as a year-round site. We not only run through the tax season, but we provide those services like I talked about with tax assessment letters full year. Our main site is here at 1368 Fulton Street in Bedford-Stuyvesant. We also have a site at 630 Flushing Avenue, and we will be operating, there's an asterisk there. Last year, we were at the Central Library at Grand Army Plaza 2 days a week. We're trying to repeat that, but we may also expand to some of the other library areas. And then we have a mobile site. What do I mean by local community partners? Sometimes we take our show on the road. And again, you'll find whether they say it or not, all of the presenters here will do that. We will pick up our tax preparation services and go to, say, senior citizen centers or things of that nature where people cannot come out to do their tax returns, but rather we'll go do that. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to join the team here, you can contact me. I'm Stephen Cox Sr. My email address is listed, as is my telephone number. My son, who also listed, is there. Restoration Corporation's email address is listed to the left. Let me say one other thing. 4 years ago, I was where you were. I am a retired banker, having spent 45 years in banking, and I came out to volunteer. I realized, and things were a little bit different because of the pandemic, but I realized the service that all of this was about. And in fact, I've been doing this now for 4 years and wouldn't have it any other way. If we were to think about it, again, just think about the fact that my team, but the group that everyone here participated in saving individuals who really needed it over $1.5 million in tax preparation fees. Now, one of the things that you may have heard earlier, and I just want to take a minute to talk about that, is certification levels. We will accept all levels of certification. Tax preparation certification levels would be basic and advanced. And as Yamil talked about, that advanced allows you to do more complicated returns. But we also have greeters, individuals that will help individuals to fill out their forms and navigate them through the process. Those two certifications are really a code of conduct and an intake and quality review. So my team will accept anyone with any of those certification levels and we'll find a home for you. Once again, if you have any questions, please contact us and we'll go from there. If you have any questions about some of the terms that you heard or terminology before this session is over, by all means ask, and I'm sure I or one of the other presenters will be able to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephen. Next we have Grow Brooklyn. Before we get started, I just want to verify. I don't think Jose is here. Jose, if you're here, can you raise your hand? Jose, if you're here, raise your hand. Okay, so we're actually going to have Shoshana is going to do the slide for Grow Brooklyn for us today. Thank you, Shoshana.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Grow Brooklyn started in Bushwick, Brooklyn. The mission of the organization is to enable families to grow and preserve their assets, thereby securing their economic future. Grow Brooklyn has sites throughout Brooklyn. Last year, they had more than 15 sites in neighborhoods such as Bushwick, Brownsville, Flatbush, Gowanus, Williamsburg, downtown Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, Sunset Park, East New York, and Bed-Stuy. Currently, Grow Brooklyn has a need for in-person volunteers that offer many tax services, including virtual tax prep and drop-offs. Grow Brooklyn weekly requirements for volunteers is a minimum of 3 hours per week, or you can do up to a maximum of 6 hours per week, and it's bi-weekly. If you become a tax preparer, they will require that you do at least the basic level of certification, but they do encourage you to get the advanced level so that you can do taxes further. They do have other roles such as screener and interpreters. Grow Brooklyn is one of the largest non-commercial tax providers in Kings County. Currently, Grow Brooklyn has training. They provide a guide for self-paced learning, one-on-one training, and mentorship virtually and in-person group training sessions as well. If anybody is interested in volunteering at Grow Brooklyn, you can sign up online or on the website, in which we will send out the links. But as you can see, their information is on the screen. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shoshana. So next we'll go to next steps, right? That's I feel like what most people want to know, what is next. So if you have not completed our online volunteer sign up form, you can either scan this QR code or all this information on this slide will be emailed to you today. So all this information will be emailed to you today or tomorrow morning. So you don't need to quickly try to write anything down, but that would be the next step. If you have not completed the online sign up form, please do that. Next, what everybody should be focused on is doing their volunteer training so that you can pass the certification. So there are in-person and online options for training. For the online options, we will email you these documents. So Form 6744 is the actual all the test questions for the exams for this year. So like I was saying earlier, every exam you get to take twice. So this passing score is an 80. If you don't pass it the first time, you get a second attempt, but the questions for both exams is actually on 6744, the original test and the retest. So it's a great resource just to start studying. We will also send you the Prosperity Now. It's a module-based training. It's mostly just on tax law, but they also do have a module for the intake interview exam and quality review. But the rest are modules. They're like PowerPoints or PDFs. And you can follow it kind of how we're doing now. So it's more like a class lesson. We will also send you a link to the TaxSlayer practice lab. So the third exam that you will need to take, either the basic or the advanced, it's scenario based. They'll give you a real situation, real tax documents, and you'll input it into the TaxSlayer software, populate tax documents, and use it to answer questions. So in order to do that, you need to use the TaxSlayer practice lab. And then another resource we will send you will be the actual exam site. This is the Lincoln Learning Certification, the linklearncertification.com site. That is where the exams are. We will send that to you. And then finally, what we'll send you is the online shift selection. That is how you will be assigned to a provider. Um, that will allow you to choose a location you want to volunteer at, the shift you would like to volunteer at, and most importantly, it will assign you to a provider, which is important because they are the ones who are doing the in-person training. So in order to get those in-person training options, we have to get you assigned to a provider. So I know that was a lot of information. So now we're going to open it up to questions. If you have a question, you can raise your hand, we'll unmute you, and you can ask your question. So if anybody has any questions, please raise your hand. Uh, oh, we have a question. Um, Trishelle, you can unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. What if you already have all the certification? What is the step after that to do?
So you would need to fill out the online shift selection so we can assign you to a provider.
Okay, and that will be sent over after the session.
Because of the hour that it is, it might not come until tomorrow morning. So it'll either be tonight or tomorrow morning.
Okay, great. Because I have both certification in advanced and basic. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
congratulations, and we will send that to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Nasif. Please unmute yourself and ask your question. Okay. Please raise your hand if you have your question. If anybody else has a question, I think we lost Nasif. Does anybody else have a question? Oh, I see another hand. Hold on. Vivian, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Two questions. One of the question being, I got an email from, I think is a VITA. I have spoken to somebody and they said they're also like a provider also. And then I did want to ask, there's a training tomorrow, in-person training. That's also part of like the tax training that we're supposed to go to, like for the 8 hours, right? So sorry, I'm not sure.
So what I was saying earlier is the providers are actually the ones who provide the on-person training. So if you've already reached out to one of our providers, um, then and they've
I
told you that
think
they have a
they
training,
reached out
right?
to me. It's called VITA,
So
Vita.
all of these programs are VITA programs. So it's a volunteer income tax assistant program. That's what VITA stands for. All of these providers offer that same service. So that
Okay.
isn't the actual organization, but if I'm saying if one of them did reach out to you and tell you that there's a volunteer training tomorrow, it's the same information and the same training. Um, and if you want to work with that organization, please feel free to go to that training and get started in the process.
So sorry. Can I give you I'm trying to find the organization name because I'm a little bit, it's like my first time doing this. I'm a little bit confused, but I do have my second question. My second question is the advanced certification. Can we also take the exam for that or do we have to pay for that?
All of the exams are free. So this is a volunteer opportunity, which means you don't get paid, but it also means you don't have to pay for the tax law knowledge, for the certifications. Those are also free.
Okay, so the training I have tomorrow is at Yankee Stadium. So I don't know if you guys know if there's any training
Yeah,
there.
that is with us, and that is on Saturday. Not tomorrow. It's going to be Saturday.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Saturday. Today's Thursday.
Yes,
I apologize.
yes,
It's
yes.
Saturday.
That does count as your training. So yes, please attend.
Okay, and that's the 8 hour training that we have to 8 to 10 hour training that we have to complete before we do the exam, right?
You you could take the exams before that. So that number is an estimate of how long it can take you to prepare for the exams. It's not a set time frame. Like if you need more time to study or train after you do the training on Saturday, you could definitely use your online research to study more. That's just an estimate of how much time or training you'll need.
Okay, then. Okay, that's all the question I have. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. Okay. Next, we have Ricardi. Please unmute yourself and ask your questions. And providers, please step in and answer if you feel if you would like to. Ricardi, you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Okay. Next, Tina, please unmute yourself and ask your question. Maybe Ricardi's having a technical difficulty.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Tina.
Thank you. I have two questions. One is there going to be a link for all of the providers that's going to come with this presentation that gets emailed to us? And two, the in-person class that you're holding for 8 hours on Saturday is specifically for what? And can we still register for it?
Unfortunately, you will not be able to register for that training, but um, in the email we send you will be an online shift selection. That's where you select the location you want to volunteer and the shift, and then we will connect you to one of the providers. The providers will have other in-person training opportunities for you.
Okay,
Okay.
thank
Thank you,
you.
T. Oh,
And
yes.
oh, so you answered both my questions just
Oh,
now. Thank you. Sorry.
no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I see Ricardi put his question in the chat. If anybody else had a question, please raise your hand. Janina, did you have any questions in the chat that you wanted to reach out to the group?
I think Ricardi is having issues unmuting. I don't think his settings are allowing it. I don't know if you could unmute it for them.
Okay, let me see. Oh no, I can't unmute him. I can only allow his mic. Um, Ricardi, if you cannot unmute yourself, you are free to type your question in the chat, and Janina or Shoshana will be able to answer that question for you. Janina, was there anything else?
No, that was everything for the chat.
Okay, thank you. We do have another question. Um, I'm gonna say MD. I'm sorry if yes, I can hear you. You can go ahead and ask your question. So this is a volunteer opportunity. So which means there is nobody's good. You're not getting paid to do this to become a volunteer tax preparer. Um, so there's no funding required. Okay, thank you. Next we have Stephanie. Stephanie, you can unmute yourself and ask your.
Hi, thank you. My question is, since I have volunteered in prior tax seasons, is it possible to take the exams and, assuming that I pass, um, if I did that, would I also have to attend the in-person training, or is just passing the exams sufficient? I hope that question makes sense.
It makes perfect sense, Stephanie, and passing the exams is sufficient. Um, the 8 to 10 hours when I said of training is an estimate of what you would need to take the exams. It is not a requirement in any way. So if you were a prior volunteer and feel like you can just take the exams without any necessary preparation, then please do. Please select one of the volunteer shifts when we send you so we can get you assigned to a provider quickly.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. Any more questions, please raise your hand. Okay. If there aren't any more questions, I would love to open it back up to Stephen or Yamil to say anything if they would like. Well, then, if that is it, if you have any other questions, feel free to email us at freetaxprep@dcwp.nyc.gov with any questions you have. We will email you. It may be today, but most likely it'll be tomorrow morning with all the information that was on the previous slide. But if you do have any additional questions, please feel free to email us. Thank you all for coming, and we look forward to you volunteering this season. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Oh,
Great.
Stephen, please. Thank you.
No, again, I guess the thing I want to do is thank everyone for their interest, encourage everyone to participate. It is a fantastic learning experience, you'll find. But I'll tell you one of the success stories that we had 2 years ago. And this is one of the reasons I came back. We had a client that came in to my organization with a letter in hand saying that she owed the IRS $700. The woman was crying and said she had no way to pay that. My team and I were able to take a look and ask a few questions. And by the time we were finished, and this is indicative of all of the programs, so it's just not an experience that we had here. By the time we were finished, not only did she not owe the IRS the $700, she received refunds totaling $13,000. And that was as rewarding as anything that I could say. So clearly, it's a volunteer experience, it's a learning experience, but it is something that you will carry with you wherever you go.
Thank you for that, Stephen. And oh, yes, Yumil, please go ahead.
Yep. Hello, everyone. So yeah, I think I'll just second what Steven was saying. I think anyone that joins in volunteering for the field free tax prep is getting a lot of knowledge from not only uh, taxes, but they're getting real life world training, and it is impactful for a lot of people, especially if you speak another language, if you have family that are the first time that they've ever done. Just think of it like that. You are giving a great service to help these individuals that could be your family members, or are kind of like that, because they might not know about information that can be helpful, like this program that is free and gets their taxes done correctly and accurate. They're able to learn from it and able to get beneficial results from it. We are trying to bridge the gap where they don't have to pay someone else an additional amount. If they were to owe the IRS, they only owe the IRS. If they get a refund, they get the full refund. They wouldn't have to pay the additional whatever fee it is, from 200, 300, or whatever it is. They wouldn't have to pay extra or lose money from their tax return. So it is a great program. So if you are interested in this, we do want you to continue and hope that you can join us so we can prosper everyone in New York.
Thank you so much, Yumil. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Stephen, for both Yumil and Stephen for talking about your organizations and the great work that you do. Please look out for the email, everybody. We would love to have you volunteer this year. So thank you for coming. Have a great evening and get home safe if you're not home safe already. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank
Good night.
you. Good night.